Hey, how's it going guys? It's Nate here. And it is finally here, the add-on you've all been eagerly anticipating. The Dwarven Armored Mudcrab has arrived to Skyrim, alongside a bit more Creation Club content, and a rather large Skyrim update that we're going to be taking a look at today. Most of the non-Creation Club content that came with this update were just simple bug fixes, changes to the message of the day, and some script tweaking, much to the frustration of Skyrim script extender users, some of whom had their games broken for a short handful of hours. As for what we got out of the Creation Club itself, Bethesda updated the marketplace to contain two new add-ons, both of which we're going to break down in depth today. The first one I would like to describe, as you might have guessed, is the Dwarven Armored Mudcrab. Developed by Bethesda Game Studios, not a contracted modder, this new potential follower is priced at 50 Creation Club credits, or just around 50 cents. However, is currently on sale for 100% off, and therefore free to download as of now. However, when this sale will end has not yet been specified, so if you would like to save 50 cents and earn yourself a pet crab, you best act quickly. Once you've downloaded the content from the store, you'll still need to complete a few actions in order to obtain your new crusty companion. The next time you load into a game, a letter from the Dwemer historian Calcelmo will ultra-immersively spawn into your inventory. In the letter, Calcelmo states that during his excavations of a Dwemer ruin, he's found a friendly mudcrab encrusted in dwarven armor. He'd like to keep it for himself, however has found little time to look after the creature, and therefore requests that you meet him in Markarth's Understone Keep to buy it from him. Once you've arrived at the agreed upon destination, you'll find Calcelmo working, with the armored mudcrab just next to him. When I first saw this, I got a bit excited and thought, hey, maybe there's gonna be some special dialogue from Calcelmo, or something. Unfortunately, that is not the case. In fact, at this point, I wasn't entirely sure what to do. There's a big quest marker above Calcelmo, but no way to obtain the Dwarven Armored Mudcrab. I spent about 5 minutes going through every possible line of dialogue with the man, trying to see if I could get him to say anything new. Eventually, I figured out that I had to select the "What do you have for sale" speech option, and purchase an item called the Dwarven Armored Mudcrab ownership deed from him. This was a little bit disappointing. The way the scene was set up led me to expect something a bit more, but then again, it was free. Once you bought the ownership deed off of Calcelmo, evidently because it respects property rights, the Dwarven Armored Mudcrab will immediately become your follower. As a companion, you'll soon find that this crab's main purpose in the game is to just act adorable, which admittedly it does very well. Everything it did, from the way it walked to how it would dig itself into solid flooring as if it were mud, I found to be quite entertaining. However, aside from being cute as all hell, the Mudcrab is fairly useless from a practical perspective as a follower, behaving sort of like pack spiders from the Dragonborn DLC. While the Mudcrab will be able to hold your equipment, as I learned the hard way, it's not all that interested in helping you in combat, as the crustaceans will completely ignore and be ignored by hostile NPCs altogether. That said, they're not killable, even by the player, so you won't need to worry about one being hit by a stray arrow or something. While they certainly add a welcome atmospheric change to the game for a short period of time, I'm not quite sure if I can see myself bringing a Mudcrab with me everywhere I go. I'll probably leave this little guy in Breeze home for now. It's time for the real question though. Is this Dwarven Armored Mudcrab worth your money? Well, as of now, considering that it's free, absolutely. I'm actually surprisingly leaning towards a yes for 50 cents too. I mean, that price at least seems reasonable for what you're getting. Although that's just my take on it. As compared to the other new addition Skyrim's Creation Club saw, it was the Holy Grail. Alongside the Dwarven Armored Mudcrab, the other creation that was released was Lord's Mail, a new armor piece, again that's piece, not set, for 300 credits. Lord's Mail is a unique piece of chest armor that actually boasts a long history in Elder Scrolls games. It's made an appearance in every single game in the franchise, with the exceptions of Skyrim and Oblivion. It's an artifact of the god Kynareth, and it's said that if the armor ever falls into the hands of an individual unworthy of its powers, Lord's Mail will either be taken from them or hidden by the god, until a new suitable wearer is deemed worthy. The last time we saw it, back in the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Lord's Mail had just been stolen from the Imperial Legion by a defector, whom you had the opportunity to kill and acquire the armor for yourself. Of course, with the Creation Club, all of that deep lore seems to have kind of been neglected. Once you purchase the armor from the Creation Club and proceeded to hop into a game, you'll automatically be given a quest called A Gift from Kynareth, which will direct you to Solitude, where you must read a newly placed letter from the Emperor himself, addressed to General Tullius. In the letter, the Emperor argues to Tullius that Skyrim is currently undergoing some troublesome times, and he believes that if the Empire is able to recover some of its lost artifacts, such as Lord's Mail, it'll help boost morale and inspire the populace. The letter makes no mention of where exactly the armor is, or even where to start looking, But since the Dragonborn is both a psychic and a mail thief, after reading the address, you'll be given a quest marker that directs you to where Lord's Mail is. Alas, it's fallen into the hands of a band of hostile Alikar mercenaries, who will immediately attack the Dragonborn upon being approached. Once they've been dealt with, you can open up a chest that the mercenaries have, that contains some Pentus Oculatus boots and bracers, a letter, and the legendary Lord's Mail armor, which has evidently been cursed. But we'll get to that part soon. In case you are wondering, the letter claims that the mercenaries were guarding the armor, waiting for a potential buyer to arrive. The letter also seems to be oddly inconsistent with the game's actual lore, as it says, quote, "We stand to make a small fortune, and the loss of such an artifact will bring great disgrace to the Empire." But if you've played Morrowind, you already know that the Empire lost that armor well over 300 years before the events of Skyrim, so that was a bit weird. As for the armor itself, Lord's Mail will provide its wearer with 49 damage protection, quite good, weigh you down by 32 points, and sell for a whopping 6,000 septims. However, the curse that the armor evidently carries will also set you back by 50 points in health, stamina, and magic when wearing the piece. And from what I can tell, there seems to be no way to relieve this curse, as the armor can't really be altered at any crafting stations. So while it's got a decent armor stat, its debuff really makes it unviable to use too often. However, my biggest criticism of this armor isn't its relatively poor stats or the unfulfilling quest you have to pursue to obtain it, but instead with Lord's Mail's appearance. From a strictly visual perspective, the armor just looks utterly atrocious. The textures it uses are low quality and terribly mapped. Looking at it up close, it appears they couldn't even stay within the lines when coloring in the Imperial insignia. When compared to the Divine Crusader's outfit, something that released with not only a piece of chest armor, but 2 full sets of unique armor and 2 new weapons that all looked relatively good for just 200 credits more than Lord's Mail, or 4 Mudcrabs more, Lord's Mail seems to be a big step backwards for Bethesda in terms of value. And value is not exactly something that Creation Club content is well known for anyway. Furthermore, I might add, this Lord's Mail armor, according to its code and files, suggests that Bethesda Game Studios employees created it, not third-party modders invited to the Creation Club. As you might have guessed, I'm really gonna recommend that you avoid purchasing Lord's Mail. Go buy a couple cups of coffee, or half a cup at Starbucks. Overall, these 2 new Creation Club add-ons present a bit of an emotional roller coaster for me. While I found myself surprisingly impressed by the Dwarven Armored Mudcrab, that excitement was dwarfed by my frustration with the armor set. Nevertheless, Bethesda recently promised some bigger upcoming Creation Club add-ons, and it's safe to say that what we got today was not that. Bethesda has spoken very highly of some releases they have planned for this December, so hopefully those will live up to the hype they're trying to generate for it. Hopefully. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, like ratings are as always very much appreciated. And where do you currently stand on the Creation Club? Has your opinion shifted in any way since it started up? Do you now love it? Do you now hate it? Are you a PlayStation 4 user? That seems to be their target audience. Leave a comment down below. Again, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Links will be in the description to Instagram, Twitter, Discord, Tinder, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.